Back up because the Group Chat podcast is back with another episode that'll have you texting your buddies faster than a last-second Saints missed extra point. Join host Casey Gisclair alongside the outspoken trio of Damien St. Pierre, Nick Hebert, and an echo-filled Tommy Bodeau as they break down and argue about all things sports and entertainment. You don't want to be the dude at work who missed their hot takes. Everyone's talking about it, so why aren't you listening? The Group Chat podcast, presented by Bayou Sports and One More Round Studios. Proudly sponsored by the law office of Tommy Bodeau, Performance Auto, and Martin's AC and Electrical. Now play some Creed and let's get to trolling.
And good evening to everyone here. It is the One More Round Studios Man Cave. It is the Group Chat podcast on this Saturday night. The boys here were free, and we decided, you know what? We all are not doing nothing, so why don't we go live? A lot of things have happened in the last 24 to 48 hours, and we got some stuff to talk about. We also are going to have a tribute to all the moms out there. It is Mother's Day weekend. Tomorrow is Mother's Day. Hope everybody has a wonderful and happy Mother's Day. Gentlemen, any big plans tomorrow? You guys going to be cutting up, enjoying some R&R with the fam?
Yeah, we have a little tradition at our house that every Mother's Day we go to New Orleans to Café Du Monde, and Claire likes to go get some beignets, so we take the whole family out there. Kids get covered in powdered sugar.
Nothing wrong with that.
And we have a good time.
How are you celebrating Erin tomorrow, making her listen to us record podcast? That's how the anniversary was.
That's a great anniversary. I hope she's not watching this, but I did sneak around and got some pretty good gifts today post Bless Your Heart event. Hopefully she's happy, and she'll probably walk in, and I didn't wrap anything, so she'll probably see everything on the table, complain, and just understand that it's her stuff.
Yeah, okay. Sounds like a winner. So that ought to be some fun. Before we dive into some of our topics, how was the event today? Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it. I had some car issues. I was told by a very reliable source the turkey was very good. So kudos to you all. Sounds like it was a great time. I told you this before we got on the air. I was passing on the Intercoastal Bridge, and I saw the basketball court was like full of bubbles. I was like, what the hell is going on? So that looked fun. I did see a lot of vehicles, which is obviously a great thing. And the St. Pierre women won some races today, which is always good. So it sounds like it was a good time for everybody, man.
Yeah, the bragging rights in the St. Pierre household are definitely with the women tonight. Erin won and Kim won the 5K in their age division. And our turkey routine, man, we were like the people's champs. But we had a good time. It was a great event. There was a ton of people. I think it was probably more people than what they expected. We didn't have too many leftovers. I can tell you that 4:45 wake up was a little much. So if I'm kind of half asleep, Nick was already yawning before we came in here watching John Cena defeat Randy Orton. But overall, great day. Looked like every kid had a blast. It was a great day for the community. A lot of different folks out there. I think they had 13 different cook teams, ton of vendors, and it was awesome. And as we were leaving, Benjamin Bruce was taking the stage. Had some bands going on. I know he's tremendous. The old man in me needed to get home and get in my recliner.
Man, I got to tell you. So Benjamin, at least once or twice a year for South Lafourche games, and he's a member of the team on the baseball side, will play the national anthem, break out a guitar, and will play the national anthem. And when he does that, dude, he brings the house down.
Bro, he's got a hell of a lineage.
Yep.
His grandfather made our Lafourche Parish Mount Rushmore.
100%.
Hey, shout out DTB Clothing. If you saw some pictures today.
Yes.
We got some shirts. Shout out Code Word Hat. You could get some customizable things on there. That's a really good product. Tommy's got issues with everything.
Oh, we love to hear it.
So he's got a hat. It might be crooked. Yeah.
It's very crooked. It's not might be crooked. It's very crooked.
He's got a banner that's blurry. He's got a microphone that echoes.
But it's my fault, right?
At some point, it's the person that is having the issues, right? I mean, if the problems all stem around one person, who's really the problem?
It's a common denominator.
Yeah, I agree with that, as Richie Mott would say. Gentlemen, we'd be remiss if we didn't kick off today's show talking about Derek freaking Carr retiring. Goodness, we see that at like 9-something this morning. The news breaks. I thought it was a scam. I'm like, dude, this is not Adam Schefter. Like, this is a fake Twitter account. Oh, no. And then the New Orleans Saints posted on their own social media, Derek Carr apparently was dealing with a shoulder injury or is dealing with a shoulder injury, has been trying to tough it out. He started to ramp up his offseason throwing program. It wasn't working, had a dead arm. And basically the doctors told him, yo, bro, the only way you're going to recover is if you have a surgery. He said, well, I ain't having a surgery. I'm retiring. And then we get the news that Derek Carr is going to be out. And my God, was not expecting this, but
that's the celebration horn.
Yeah.
That was the Derek Carr celebration horn.
Man, y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. The guy got a hurt shoulder. He's a human being.
Hey, you know what? I'm going to play it again. Ding dong, the witch is dead.
We have just begun the Shuck era. Is it Shuck? Stuck?
It's Shuck.
Shuck.
The Shuck
Speaking
era.
of, Bayou Rosa oysters today. Phenomenal.
Come on.
Had a dozen char-grilled oysters there. Should have had Shuck in there.
The Saints have already started damage control, by the way, and they have already said that it's going to be a 3-person competition.
It ain't.
In camp between Shuck, Rattler, and Hayner. Dude, if it's Hayner, he was so terrible.
Coach Butch.
Hey, what's up, Butch? CCA, baby. CCA in the house. CCA got the win today. 36-0, taking care of business. It was 1-0 in the bottom of the 4th. The other team didn't even make it to the end of the bottom of the 5th. 11-1 win for CCA. Punching that ticket. Guess what? E.D. White gets a win today. Punching that ticket. Our Bayou Region team's kicking that ass going to Sulphur.
I love it. You know who had a good streak aside from CCA?
Who's that?
Goldberg.
Goldberg.
I feel like CCA is on a Goldberg type of streak.
I told you, if no one brings a taser to Sulphur, they're winning it all. They're going to be playing on Tuesday, taking care of business. It was awesome hanging out with them. We appreciate you, Butch. Hope that you're going to hang out with us. Butch has already sent me an open invite. He said, what day you getting to Sulphur? And I said, yeah, the plan is Tuesday. He said, all right, well, sounds like we're drinking beer on Tuesday.
Are you going to eat at LeBlow's again?
That's the goal. That's the aspiration. I'm gonna have to bring a to-go box back home to the Bayou for you guys.
So get back to Carr, right?
Yes.
So, that was so out of the blue.
I didn't see that coming.
We literally talk sports 24/7, and nobody even had that on the forefront of their minds. And just out of the blue, obviously nursing an injury, didn't want to have that surgery. Maybe he opted out of the surgery. Was that part of it? That's
the report, is that he was told by the doctor, yo, bro, this ain't going to heal without surgery. And he basically said, you ain't cutting on me, so I'm out. And also, apparently, he got told by the doctor, if you get the surgery, there's no guarantee that you're going to even heal. Can you imagine how bad he would be if he had a dead arm? I don't know that he ever had a...
Drew Brees' last 2 years, he had a dead arm, and we still did pretty good.
Fair enough.
Noodle arm.
He makes the decision that he's walking away. Hey, goodbye. Get the hell out of here, dude.
Did he give that money back? From what I gathered, that money's coming back to the Saints.
What is the contract situation if somebody retires abruptly like this?
All right. So as I understand it, this is the way it's going to go. Do they physically have to pay him? No. But there's going to be some dead money cap hit stuff for the next year or two. Hey, whatever. If it means that he's gone, if it means that he's out the building, whatever. The alternative would have been, guess what? He would have been in the building. He would have had surgery. He wouldn't have been playing anyways. As long as he's not there, I'm okay with that. I was talking to Brian early. He's okay with it. Let's just turn the page and get this dude out of here, man.
Yeah, no doubt. It's time to turn the page in New Orleans, but then you automatically take a look in the mirror and see what you actually have in your quarterback room, and you're sitting there with a ton of folks without experience. Obviously, Rattler is there. He's got a little bit more than half a season under his belt, and just pretty much somebody back there to take snaps and take losses.
We got a 25-year-old seasoned rookie about to light it up in New Orleans.
That's what Billy Joe thinks.
Knock on wood if you're with me. No, nobody's.
Shuck look, I watch a lot of college football. A lot, like an obsessive amount of college football. He played 7 years and I didn't know who he was until the day that the Saints drafted him. That's not necessarily a great sign.
I don't know if I just rigged my algorithm or what, but every time I get on TikTok, somebody's praising Shuck as like, this is the guy that everybody wanted. Obviously. After 40. That's how everybody wanted.
After age 40 or pick 40?
Speaking of the draft, I know this was not on our agenda, but I saw that Dylan Gabriel, whatever. He has Shadur's number.
Yeah, he sure does.
And they were like, well, he got picked first, so he gets the first crack at it.
Well, when Shadour's starting in week 1, I think that might have to get altered.
He's going to be starting with the number 12 if Gabriel makes that team.
What about that, huh? I mean, they're both Hunter and Shador rocking the 12 and saying that it's because of Tom Brady.
That's how old we are.
That's crazy, man. I'm not 1,000% sure that Carr's actually retired. He's got 2 years left on his deal. I could see this being a Carson Palmer. Hey, boo-hoo, I don't want to play for the Saints anymore. I could see this being a situation where at 36, he says, hey, my shoulder's good. I'm ready to play. Is he actually retired, or is he just throwing himself on the ground in a tantrum to not play in New Orleans anymore?
I don't know. Who's going to want him?
That's the next point, I guess.
If he is throwing himself on the ground in a tantrum to not play in New Orleans, I appreciate it. Thanks. If he wants to go play somewhere else, do we get a draft pick?
Not if he waits until the contract ends.
Okay. So if somebody's beating down the Saints' door in the next few months looking for Derek Carr, please come play for us.
That could net them a draft pick potentially.
Hopefully.
Hey,
might be wishful thinking, but hopefully somebody's out there wants Derek Carr to be their quarterback.
Again, we read the story on ESPN.com where Kellen Moore says, oh, bro, it's going to be a 3-person competition. How disappointed will the fan base be if it's not Shuck starting in week 1? If they just run old Rattler out of the bullpen again, or heaven forbid, even Jake Haener, as bad as he was last season, how disappointing would it be to the fan base? And is there a situation where if it is Rattler or Haener, could people maybe even be wanting Carr back at some point? No?
There's a guy sitting there without a team that's better than half of the quarterbacks in the league is Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Saints aren't going after Aaron Rodgers.
But you see,
it's not happening.
Bad quarterback play cheap is a lot better than bad quarterback play for millions and millions and millions of dollars.
But you're not going to get a bad quarterback. You got a guy that's won the MVP. You got a guy that could still put up stats. He showed it in the last year. He had a rough start, but he was coming off of an injury. He's 40 years old.
So to Nick's point, I think that there's some credence to what you just said there, dude, because Carr is going to finish his Saints career 1 game above 500 as a starter. He's going to finish his Saints career with 40 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. That doesn't sound bad. The reason why people don't like him is because he is being paid a fortune to be average. If he would have got a 4-year, $70 million contract, ain't nobody be saying nothing about Derek Carr. It's because it's a 4-year, $150 million contract that everybody's bitching and complaining.
His best friend got him the deal.
Yeah.
Can't blame him.
Who's his best friend, Mickey Loomis?
No, the losing coach, Dennis Allen.
Dennis
DA.
Allen. Tommy in the chat saying he wants to see the Rat Pack. I thought Tommy was a Taysom Hill guy.
I think he's come to terms that he's not going to be throwing 30 passes a game.
Tommy's not on the Shuck Ship?
Wait. There's something called a Shuck Ship?
There is now.
Put it on a shirt.
That's bus. Suck Ship. Sorry.
Suck Ship sounds about
Shuck
right.
Ship.
Sounds about right.
Say that 5 times fast. That's going to be our little game next.
Oh, it's going to be a long night. We're all sleep deprived. We've all had long days. It's going to be a long night. So we've already discussed, I think he's going to be back. The boys are not as sure. We've already discussed what's going to happen next with the quarterback competition. Some final thoughts. We didn't see this coming, but what do you make? I mean, you got to give the you got to give the Carr era like a D or an F, right? I mean, did they sign this dude for a 4-year deal? He doesn't even make it to year 3, never makes the playoffs. They don't have a clear succession plan to get out of him. He retires and just kind of runs away. Like, this was a failed experiment, right? I mean, come on. Anybody's got to admit that.
Yeah, I think even Dennis Allen would admit that. It's been terrible since jump. And if they are trying to tank for Arch, which I'm all for it because I just don't think he's going to be that great. But they're clearing the roadway. If there's 10 feet of snow on the ground right now and they're starting to clear it out where you could actually drive, no car pun intended. They're doing it in an ass backwards way, but they're doing it.
You said even Dennis Allen would admit that that it was a failed experiment.
Dennis Allen doesn't
9-8 as the Saints.
He gets fired. It has to be a failed
9-8 as the Saints quarterback is a incredible season for Dennis Allen. So
Yeah.
he owes his career to Derek Carr.
Y'all realize Dennis Allen next year is going to lead the number one defense in the NFL. Where I don't know where it even ended up, but next year he's going to lead a historically good defense.
He was a good coordinator. He's always been. He just wasn't a good head guy, and that's just what some people's skill set is.
How do you get Shuck out of SHOUGH? Does anybody care to explain that one to me?
I don't know.
I thought it was Schaff.
I thought it was Schaff too. I thought that they drafted Schaff, then maybe Shaw, and then there's what? Shuck?
Show.
I don't get it.
He should be show, and he could be Cajun word hot.
First name the.
Sauce Show.
First name the, last name Show. It would be a legend in Galliana.
His feet would never get off the ground. He'd be stuck to the floor.
Moving on.
You could do the Joe Horn if he scores, but he picks up the payphone.
All right. Nobody outside of down the bayou knows what the hell we're talking about, but that's okay. Let's talk about the WWE show tonight. I'll be honest with you. I've just been watching bits and pieces on Twitter until the main event, which I watched here. John Cena gets the win against Randy Orton in what was the cheapest heel chicken finish that you could have. It was beautiful. I love when a good heel wins. John Cena goes over in Randy Orton's hometown. He cuts a promo after. I'm the real champion. Screw you guys. I don't need you guys. WrestleMania sucked. That didn't suck. That was awesome. That was fun to watch tonight.
Hey, so real quick, going down the results, Jacob Fatu beat LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre with some help from Jeff Cobb. You had the women's match that nobody cared about. You had Dirty Dom defeat Penta with some help from not Chad Gable. And then Gunther destroyed Pat McAfee, but Aubrey kept coming back. The main event is what everybody wanted to see. The main event was a beautiful story. You knew the result going in, but it still held your attention because of the way the story was told. And if you are a fan of professional wrestling and you did not like that match, no matter who you like, you're not a fan of real professional wrestling. You may be a fan of people jumping up and down and off the ring post and trying to destroy one another, but that was a beautiful wrestling match. The finish, the way that John Cena was just getting destroyed, but they couldn't do anything about it. It's great storytelling. That's what professional wrestling is about, and that's why I'm still a fan of professional wrestling. Nights like tonight. Tonight's main event was better than Saturday Night WrestleMania. It was better than Sunday Night WrestleMania. I don't know why they didn't have that type of storyline in that WrestleMania on that card rather than save it for a month later when you probably pissed off a lot of people.
I think the answer to that was they didn't know if the freaking Rock was going to even show up. I mean, they made him part of the storyline. Then he just decides, like, oh, bro, like, I ain't going.
But, so did you see – I think I sent you guys a video. They had Bubba Ray Dudley's on some Sirius radio.
Is it his own show, Busted Open?
It may be.
Yeah.
So he kind of rebooked it. He's like, all right, look, so if The Rock couldn't come, hit his music, have Rhodes react to the music, have Cena get the pinfall after that, and then the next day Rock could come on and say, I don't even have to be there to pull the strings. I'm that powerful. I'm on the beach in wherever in Branson, Missouri.
The beautiful beaches of Branson, Missouri.
And you don't have to have him there. You just have his aura there.
That'd have been good.
Like, simple. And say you just shit the head.
Yeah, that would have been good. That was better than what we got.
One thing about the Cena match was if you talk to veterans, the one thing that they will all tell you is to slow down. Everyone just says slow down. Once you slow down even more. And just watching that Cena match was a masterclass in slowing down and just letting the crowd react to every little thing you do and not rushing everything. And classic heel everything for Cena. Who would have thought he'd be such a great heel when they kept him face for 20 years?
Two things off of that. First off, Nick, it was so slow you were about to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Second, they need to ramp that up. And I say they, the creative team, needs to probably ramp that heel stuff up a little bit, how he's ruining wrestling. He comes out to just his name in the lights or the screen. Don't come out to anything. Don't come out to any music. Just get some plain Like he's gonna wear jorts. Like we have to live with that. Just get some plain jorts. I don't know if they have like extravagant jorts. Maybe Tommy, you could chime in. You're a jart guy. Jorts. Like just something plain, like a pocket white T-shirt. Just like there's a little bit more you could do to push that.
Instead of the little towel that he puts behind his head, just have a white dish towel.
Yeah, like paper towel, like Scott towel. Like I think that would be awesome. Maybe that's just me trying to be funny, but I think that would just push it a little bit further over the edge.
R-Truth's got a kick in the head coming his way. In the middle of this, and for those of you who don't realize this, R-Truth is actually older than John Cena. But he always tells stories about how he watched John Cena as a young boy. And he comes out in the middle of the match and gets involved and stops Randy Orton from kicking John Cena in the head, eats an RKO. You could just see on SmackDown or Raw or whatever it may be, that's going to be the Viper's next victim. R-Truth's about ready to get punted in the head. Probably is going to be going on the shelf for the next 3 or 4 months or so.
Are we going to see R-Truth versus Travis Scott?
Hey. It maybe be something entertaining for Travis Scott. What he did at WrestleMania wasn't very good. So,
I got some jarts conversation.
Wrangler jarts. Do you guys own any pair of jarts at all? I own none.
I used to have one because we did a white trash dress up, but I don't. That's no longer.
Nick, do you have any jarts?
Never owned a pair of jarts.
I do not own any pair of jarts. I do own some khaki shorts. Never wear them. I'm a basketball shorts guy, pretty much exclusively if I'm wearing shorts.
Not a cargo khaki short guy?
Sometimes.
What do you put in those pockets?
Oh, my God. What don't I
Cargo.
Right. Camera lenses. What don't I put in them pockets?
Oh, man. I lost a little bit of weight, and now I'm just wearing the shortest shorts possible. I'm making up for it.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Let's talk about Dominic Mysterio. Gets a clean win today. I know it wasn't clean, but the heel in me will say it was a clean win. But he's a wuss who's now a babyface. I love it. I think it's incredible. But how long can this last, man? Like he's doing all the heel stuff, but he's getting the babyface reaction. I hope he doesn't turn. I hope he doesn't start playing to the crowd. I hope he stays a prick. I don't know if that's going to happen, but boy, I like where he's going right now.
He's on fire right now. And I got a feeling that when he turns full face, I'm just not going to like him anymore because I tend to like the heels. But it just seems like the whole Judgment Day faction is all a bunch of small little heel guys, and just seems like he's getting a little bit too big for him, and that'll probably lead to the turn. But I don't know if I'm here for that. I'm here for a lot of stuff, just not here for that.
Drew McIntyre got hurt tonight, apparently, in that four-way. It was Jacob Fatu defeating LA Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre was injured. We'll see if he's actually going to be injured for a long period of time, but apparently he needed to be assisted to the back by medical personnel, and they lifted up the X. So it looked like it was a legitimate injury. So hopefully he's doing okay.
I'm not complaining.
Well, look, I'm with you. I'm not a big fan of McIntyre or Sheamus either, but why do you hate all the Europeans, bro?
Do I?
Yeah, I feel like you hate all the Europeans except for Bad News Barrett, who we all love. I've got some bad news.
You channeling my inner bias that I didn't know I had.
Yeah.
But who's there to like? Sheamus and McIntyre?
Cesaro?
Sheamus and McIntyre.
I like Cesaro.
He was all right. Yeah, Cesaro was okay.
Who's the
What's my boy?
JD McDonough? He's not from that area?
The Demon?
I don't know.
The Demon was terrible.
Oh, bruh, I'm a beta, dude.
Only at the pay-per-views. Only at the fairs, I'm a beta. Not at Gators on Saturday night. TV. We need to do Saturday night podcast more often.
Yes, we do. Yeah, Finn Balor, he is from that area.
LaRose?
Fit Finley?
I love Fit Finley.
I didn't like Hornswoggle, though. Does that make me bad? I didn't like Hornswoggle. He was annoying.
Steven Regal?
I love Steven Regal.
Yes.
A real man's man.
A real man's man. Did y'all like Lord Steven Regal or William Regal?
Love them all.
Love them all?
He played every character the right way.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you there.
He's just a
What's
Ernest the Cat Miller?
He was
What?
He was the European champion.
Yeah.
D'Lo Brown was a European champion for a while.
I think you better recognize. Remember when D'Lo Brown wore that chest plate and there was a loaded chest plate and he would give the people the frog splash?
The D'Lo Brown leg drop is one of my favorite moves ever. The point, quick leg drop.
Hey, that was a pretty sharp move. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah. That was pretty sharp. D'Lo Brown, for a big guy, he actually could work.
He was
sick frog splash too.
Oh, dude, he had a loaded chest protector, man.
That's
lethal.
That's awesome. Those little storylines are fantastic.
If I could find one of them neck braces, I'll do a whole podcast here with the cowboy hat and everything, wearing the old JBL neck brace. Who's next for John Cena, boys? I think he's finished with Randy Orton after tonight. I think Randy Orton's going to move on, kick the crap out of R-Truth, then move on to something else. Who's next for John Cena?
It's going to be what we talked about. He's going to skip next month, and then he's going to probably skip the next 2 months and go with SummerSlam's in August.
Usually, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So it'll probably be that tag team match that you mentioned with Travis Scott, and then Cena and probably Bad Bunny, because Bad Bunny's coming back. He's probably got a new album that he needs to promote. So that'll probably be his next match. He'll make some appearances here and there, but I don't think he's going to do much over the next 2 months.
Does that move the meter for y'all at all? Because
No.
It doesn't at all for me. And look, I'll say that even to say Bad Bunny could go. He could really wrestle, but I don't want to see John Cena and Travis Scott versus Cody and Bad Bunny. That's ass.
That reminds me of Carl Malone and Dennis Rodman.
That's exactly where I was going.
Jay Leno.
I see Jay Leno and Carl Malone trying to do diamond cutters.
Yeah, that's not something that would move the meter for me whatsoever, especially not for SummerSlam, which is supposed to be like the second WrestleMania.
Cena said he's trying to ruin wrestling.
No, he's doing
That'll
a good job. He's doing a really good job if that's the main event for
David
SummerSlam.
Arquette's about to get a second run with the title.
Who you said last week? Mickey Rooney.
Did y'all see Charlotte last night? And I don't really watch too much of the Monday and the Friday. I just kind of catch clips here and there. But Charlotte did the whole, hey, look, y'all booing me, and I'm tired of it. So if y'all don't stop booing me, I'm leaving. And they kept booing, and she left mid-promo. I'm intrigued to see where that goes. That's kind of curious. That's some old school heel stuff there.
I don't know if I've ever seen a heel actually leave. I've seen it tease before, but I don't know if I've seen anybody actually leave, I like it. I didn't see it, but I'm with it.
Yeah, it was good stuff. Looking forward to seeing how that plays out, and if they could maybe get Charlotte. Charlotte's going to get some heat. Anytime a heel says, don't do something, unless if Nick and I are in the crowd. Remember that time Andy Dalton, he was claiming, and it was a wrestler named Andy Dalton. He was claiming that he was sick. And Nick and I are yelling, and he thinks that we're yelling at him. So he comes over to us, storming over, and we're yelling, no, dude, relax. You need to get some soup. You really are sick, bro. And he's like, oh, yeah, you're right.
Fluids and rest. What are you doing here?
Yeah. Why are you defending your title, champ? You're really sick right now. He comes over pissed at us. Then he was like, oh, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Such a trooper, Andy Dalton.
Not to be confused with the Red Rocket Andy Dalton. That's a terrible indie wrestling name. Why would you name yourself after a quarterback?
Andy Dalton, and then what's the baseball guy? Ricky Vaughn? No.
Wild Thing. Ricky Vaughn.
Is it Wild
There's
Thing?
a guy named called Wild Thing in the GCW scene.
There's another guy locally that wrestles as with a popular name.
Paul Skeens?
Johnny Dancer?
No.
Oh, Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
Chris Paul.
He's entertaining.
Is that his real name?
He's entertaining.
That is his real name, but he's Rocket. I don't think he wrestles as Chris Paul, huh?
Okay, fade the real name then.
Yeah. Rocket's a legit priest, too, which is kind of crazy that he's the biggest heel in the company. And then he leaves the show on Saturday and then is a pastor on Sunday. Shout out Rocket.
Can you turn heel in this situation?
Absolutely. You could be a money-grabbing preacher.
Brother Love did it.
You just go confess your sins on the Sunday and everything's good?
You just pass the hat for the building fund. You owe us.
If you got 50 likes or whatever on something, you were supposed to get the Francis outfit.
It's coming. It's coming. And I will get it embroidered with the CG on the chest, too. You'll be sorry, Pee Wee Herman.
Get it spelled out like C-E-G-E.
CG Lamb?
CG Lamb. I did get 50 likes. I do have the blue overalls coming, and I'll be rocking the Francis. Francis is such a sleazebag. I'm going to feel dude, I'm going to be so embarrassed walking out of my car. Even though I'm just walking 10 steps from my car to here.
Make sure your kids are out on the steps when he pulls up.
Make sure you got air in all four tires.
No kidding. In true Pee Wee fashion, I should ride my bike over here rocking the Francis.
We'll get you a big red bike.
That's gonna be so bad. Oh God, that's gonna be terrible. But that should actually be happening sooner rather than later.
I don't know, Casey. I might wear it with you. I feel like I would not be embarrassed wearing that.
Francis Buxton.
Buxton. Wait, was he the sleaziest or the guys he hired to steal the bike? Vinny, or was it Vinny?
Those
the
guys
guy with the slick back hair.
So those guys were
that was
pretty
pretty
out there
rough.
too.
That was pretty rough.
That I ain't gonna lie. That bathtub Francis had in his house was legit.
It was a swimming
It
pool.
was like a swimming pool inside.
His dad was awesome.
Mr. Buxton
With the gum and the teeth, the stuff bleeding. It's tremendous.
trick gum.
Look, we off the rails already. The last part when Pee Wee goes into that magic store and the big head, I used to scare the kid.
Yep.
I used to avoid that part.
Yep. That was
Crazy story. So I'm a huge fan of that movie, right? And my oldest daughter, if she hears me talking about it, she's gonna kill me. But she used to have issues sleeping, and I never sleep. So I would wake up with her in the middle of the night when she was having issues going back to sleep, and we'd watch that movie. And she would avoid when Large Marge drops Pee Wee off, and then it all gets dark.
Tell him Large Marge sent you.
The big eyes come out. She used to be deathly afraid of that. What's up, Kim?
What was she? Was she having nightmares because I made Thomas the Train a villain for her entire childhood?
Probably. Same kid that lost to somebody in a stroller today. So.
Oh no, yeah, but we got that ain't right.
I'm not even taking that L for her.
Yeah, no, that ain't right. You can't be being lugged around in a stroller.
So to give context to that story, my wife, my daughter, and my mother-in-law and one of Kim's friends, Eva, my boy Tyra Smith's daughter, hell of a basketball player too, becoming really good. And I know she listens, so shout out Eva Smith. They went and run another race today, aside from the Bless Your Heart race. And my wife texted me, hey, look, I did whatever. I said, well, how did Kim do? She said, well, she came out third or fourth. But the person in front of her was 4 years old, and we're pretty sure she was in a stroller. So I was like, yeah, we taking that next place. We're just gonna go ahead and accept.
Like, dude, just get on a moped next time and just cycle through.
I doubt it was the
4-year-old's
decision.
Yeah, fair enough.
If it was, that's great. Kim deserves to lose.
Right.
Next time they have a race, Nico's finishing first. So I'm
gonna push you in a stroller.
Get in the truck, race. Nico.
Yeah,
still coming out last.
Right. Do some Tim Taylor stuff. We're gonna soup up that wagon, bro. Warriors are leading the Wolves 61-60. Gentlemen, I think we saw, and I likened it to an AAU term before we got on the air. I think we saw the Cavaliers and the Celtics break out their bracket play rosters in the last couple days. They played with their pool play squad in the first two games and then just showed up and kicked the crap out of their opponents on the road in game 3 and let everybody know we're the best team here still. We're going to see 2 straight comebacks, right?
You
don't think so?
Jalen Brunson's a dog. I'm hoping so much that the Knicks pull this one out.
I'm with you. I'm rooting against Boston. I just don't see it. There's only one Brunson. There's like 7 dudes for the Celtics.
It's hard to root against the Knicks as hard as they play. Yeah. And I wish they would still have those 2 guys they traded away for Cat because
I 1,000% agree. And I got laughed at when I said that during the trade. I said, you know what? You do lose the best player, but you're losing 2 dogs. Randall and DiVincenzo want to fight. Towns wants to shoot 3-pointers at the top of the key.
Imagine how much fun to watch and how scrappy that team would be with that lineup.
Look, dude, we've been watching the Warriors and the Wolves for 30 minutes, and Randall's been in a fight the whole time we've been watching with somebody. Towns would never do anything like that.
I saw Karl Anthony Towns highlight video today, and I laughed my ass off watching it. Just really bad head and shoulder fakes and stuff like that. If you're listening, if we can get an Amazon Echo sponsorship for Tommy.
How was your Saturday, brother?
Pretty good, man. Had a kindergarten graduation party today at a bowling alley. That was pretty fun.
What'd you bowl? 200?
Oh, I didn't bowl. It's for the children.
It's for the kids. You're supposed to line up and crush those kids, Tommy.
Not with the bumpers on.
Yeah, exactly with the bumpers on.
Yeah, well, that's not how it went down.
Well, how did the little Bados do? Did we kick some ass today or what?
And took some names.
I love to hear it.
So
love to hear it. What did you make of the main event tonight? John Cena, man, he's strutting his stuff. He's looking like a real bad guy now.
I loved it. If there was one complaint I can make, they need to up the title belt hitting. It's weak. Do something else with it. Maybe an attitude adjustment on the belt, maybe off the top rope. I'm just tired of the double axe handle belt hit.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Man, how did I not lead off with this, by the way? We got Tommy. Derek freaking Carr retired. He's gone. He's no more. Get away. Get out of here. What were your thoughts, man?
Tommy sounds like he's in a somber mood because of Derek Carr.
Yeah, Tommy, give us your thoughts on there. I'm going to edit you back into the front end of this.
I'm actually very excited about it.
I'm not laughing at you, Tommy. I'm laughing at the comment that just said, nice new Iberia haircut, Bado.
Thanks, Dennis. We appreciate this.
You know, it's not a fade. It's not a fade. I'm good.
I didn't even know that a new Iberia haircut was a thing. But anyway, before we talked about your haircut, you were giving us your thoughts on Carr.
Ecstatic. Nobody saw that coming. Great for the team. Saves them money. There's no big questions going into camp. It's a battle. You draft a guy in the second round. Keys are his. So what the long-term plans are, if he's your starter, I don't know. Are they trying to tank for Arch? Now you have no excuses. I know next year the rest of the team's going to be aging out, so it's the rebuild that we need.
But is it really going to be like Mickey doesn't believe in that? I could see him right now trying to sign Aaron Rodgers. So, is it really going to be a rebuild?
That's what I was going to say. It has all the ingredients to be the proper rebuild. However, I think we'll start to see that. Let's see if they go scramble for like Keenan Allen or some of those rejects and try, we're going to compete and we're going to win this year. I just think you shit the bed this year.
You on the Shuck Ship?
All the old guys. What's that?
Are you on the Shuck Ship?
I'm on the.
Hey, now, okay, I'm with you there.
I spelled the F word PHOUGH.
that would be a nice shirt. Everybody would, what the hell are you saying? That'd be a nice shirt.
So, Tommy, if you are the head coach of the New Orleans Saints going into next season, who's your starter?
Rattler.
Oh, God. You think that there's a chance he turns it around?
Not just that, but do you really want to throw Shuck in and let him just completely and utterly fail?
But Tommy, he's 80. It's got to happen now, dude.
Shuck him.
Yeah, I don't see him prospering next year. Same thing like Rattler. They threw Rattler in the fire, and he just was terrible. So let him just keep being terrible. He's a 5th-round pick.
Yeah, I could see with that logic for sure. But then, if it becomes a situation of, well, all right, well, let's just go ahead and suck and let's get Arch or whoever next year, then why the hell did you just pick a dude in the 2nd round?
I think to try to save face because they didn't think Carr was going to retire. So that was their little contingency plan.
Why do we have an infestation of gnats in here?
Yeah, I don't know. We got a bug problem. We're going to have to get a bug sponsor.
My haircut brought him in.
You Iberia Tom over here joining us here on the group chat. So you're the lawyer guy here. What's it going to look like money-wise? And I, from what I understand, they're not going to actually have to pay him in the future because he's not going to be playing. Any guaranteed money or whatever can't be recouped. But from what I understand, the next 2 seasons, they're going to still have some dead money issues. Curious if you know anything outside of that with some of your legalese and legal dealings with the NFL.
I think the only thing that gets tricky if he doesn't file his paperwork before June 1st or whatever that July 1st, that date that comes up every year, to where they might owe him some kind of bonus next year. I think they only have to pay him like $10 million of his signing bonus or whatever his roster bonus was this year.
So knowing that, how the hell do you get him to file his retirement papers beforehand? What would be his motivation to not do it June the 2nd?
I guess the only motivation would be if he really thinks he could come back and play somewhere else, maybe to save face and not be a cheer.
Oh, yeah, I guess that's a good point. He is a cheer.
A shucker?
A shuffer.
Tommy, you still got an echo, dude. What's going on?
Not turn off the cancellation after y'all record.
I don't know. We gotta get this right. The chat is destroying me right now.
What is the protocol on doing a 5K and pushing someone in a stroller? Well, is there any legalese behind that?
Just saying, Kim and Tommy do not get along.
All right, fair enough.
So this is maybe a biased answer.
Is it for Kim or against Kim?
It's depends how you take it.
Kim got beat by someone in a stroller today at the 5K.
Stroller's completely legal.
Oh, of course.
Now, if it was Caroline, Tommy would
Suing
negotiate a first place finish.
Negotiating a plea deal, huh? What you got going on for Mother's Day tomorrow, Tommy?
Nothing fancy, man.
No?
The wife did the Mother's Day thing with her moms today. And, yeah, we might go eat some Mexican food because that's what she likes.
Early bath time tomorrow?
You're not going to visit Dolly?
Dolly didn't make plans.
Dolly didn't need to make plans. You just go.
We asked. She said, stay up here.
Of course. She didn't want to see you.
She's got Blake there.
So I'm going to go visit her and Marie tomorrow.
I'm sure they'd be thrilled. Probably be worse, though.
What did we say earlier in the show? He got problems with his hat, got problems with his banner, got problems with his headphones.
No, the group chat banner is awesome.
What did he have an issue with?
It's only
crooked hat.
Oh, crooked hat.
Yeah, code word. I think they shipped me a brand new one. So now I have a crooked hammer hat and a regular hammer hat and an upside down hammer hat.
And look, I ain't gonna lie, dude. Some of the stuff, the Better Call Bado hat that you posted on social media too, that looks legit. That's pretty smooth.
I'll bring you one for the next sidebar. Is Coach Kale going to get upset with that?
I mean, probably, but I mean, that doesn't mean that you have to avoid doing it.
I was going to ask you which one you want, but I know it's BCB black.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%. They're both nice, but yeah, BCB black for sure.
Where's the mod button?
Your new adjective is lopsided hammer.
Tommy's got so many nicknames today. Lopsided hammer, niche haircut. People are railing on you today, Tommy.
I'll leave it. I'm just not going to comment to that.
Are the Warriors going to actually win a game without Steph Curry, dude? They're up 4 with 11-28. This could be for all of y'all. Jonathan Kuminga with 20 points tonight. Playoff Jimmy stepping up. I feel like this would be a freaking punch in the tonight if Minnesota lost this game without Steph Curry in the lineup. Wolves got to win this one.
There's no way that you could lose this game and still think you have a chance in the series. This is a huge 11-28 for the Timberwolves.
There was a 2006 EA Sports college basketball game that I used to have. The game was fixed. If you go up in the first half, you were losing. I remember me and my roommate who lives in Seattle, who will remain nameless.
Who was on the cover?
Was he asleep or was he woke?
He's definitely woke.
I know the answer to that.
I don't remember. I think it was Greg Oden, maybe.
Okay, I remember that game. Yep.
It was so fixed that if you took an early first half lead, the second half your shooting percentage was 10. So anybody who took the lead in the first half, you just knew that you were going to get beat in the second half. And I feel like that's how the NBA playoffs has been. Any team who has that 5 to 15 point lead in the fourth quarter, you're going down. And the Nuggets proved that again last night. I don't know if you saw that overtime game.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're going to beat Oklahoma City.
Aaron Gordon is on another level right now, which I did not know he had.
Jokic was not good last night, and they won. Jokic was 0 of 10 for 3, 8 turnovers.
If the Nuggets could beat you when Jokic has that bad of a game.
That's what I'm saying.
So I'm not trying to sound really smart, but because I just looked it up, because obviously, if you watch the Little Games episode, I don't know who coaches are. So Cleveland Cavs coach Kenny Atkinson, I thought it was pretty cool last night. Everybody has to know that there's crazy comebacks going on, right? He kept everybody in until 3 minutes left. And you still had Donovan Mitchell going hard to the rim. The announcers were kind of downplaying it a little bit. Hey, look, you need to get these guys out or whatever, but there's too much crazy crap happening that you got to keep these guys in.
Now, along that same line, I also liked the fact that Carlisle saw that and put in James Jones to try to destroy Donovan Mitchell late in the game.
Yeah, you got to respect that as well.
That one was on the verge of getting out of control at the end. I do think the Cavs are going to end up coming back. I do think Boston's going to end up coming back. The one that is concerning me is, like Nick was talking about, I think the Nuggets are going to beat Oklahoma City. I really do.
Been saying it for weeks. They're not ready.
Foul.
Of our first episode of this, I said, what team can beat the Nuggets in 7 games? A 7-game series. I think the Nuggets are the best team in the league.
So,
but you picked against them Wednesday.
No, I didn't.
No, I picked the Nuggets.
I picked them to win. They lost by like 70.
Do you think my Clippers would be beating Oklahoma City too?
No,
we took the Nuggets to 7.
I think Oklahoma City is probably the best regular season team this year, but I think the Nuggets are the best team in the league.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Would the Nuggets be in this spot right now if they didn't fire their coach?
I don't know. Jokic is coach of the year right now.
They make the decision to fire Mike Malone with like a week left in the season, and everybody's like, what are y'all doing?
Coach Jokic is awesome.
Is the NBA now the sport where you don't need a coach and you just need somebody to get the guys to get along?
I'm not trying to fire up anybody in the chat to come at my takes, but maybe basketball doesn't need any coaches either.
Oh, it's hard to argue, man.
Wow.
90% of them don't coach anyway.
Damien went on that rant the other show. I enjoyed re-listening to that. That was some good stuff.
Man, I don't know what happened. I edited everything out. I'm getting pretty slick on the censor button. And I went back and listened to it. I'm like, hey, you didn't save it correctly, you idiot.
Well, it allowed me to get publicly for a couple of hours me saying, hey, Chop, go yourself. And I'll say it again. So that was okay. That was fine.
I don't have anything against it. It's free speech. We have an attorney on staff.
Yes, we do. I'm pretty confident that I could get us a new sponsor, too. I was thinking about this on the way home from CCA tonight.
Look, we got some love at the cook-off. I obviously have my merch on. And I asked one guy, I said, look, if the food's good, let us know. I said, if not, just ghost us. And he's like, man, I'm going to call in on the podcast, or I'm going to chime in. He said, I listen to that all the time. It's hilarious. That lady came find me. She's like, y'all come on. I grab my phone. I go sit away from everybody just so I can sit there and laugh. Y'all are so funny. I'm like, I appreciate it. That's kind of why we're there. It's therapeutic.
I got probably the best compliment that I could get from a family member who said, man, you and your friends are a bunch of churs. So, well, that's what we're going for. So that's what we're going for. Can't deny that one.
That's a hell of a compliment.
Yeah, that's exactly the message that we were trying to get across. My friends and I are a bunch of churs.
We're not everybody's cup of tea, but if you keep listening.
Well, that's the thing. He said, like, yeah, y'all are entertaining, just a bunch of churs. Like, yeah, you're right, bro. I appreciate that. Tommy, are the Boston Celtics going to come back against New York?
I hope not.
We all hope not, but I think they will.
They put the hammer down today. They were like, we're not going anywhere.
Last week, that was my Martin's Heating and AC hot take, was that the top 2 teams in the East wouldn't go. So I'm hoping that stays true.
Does it make you guys feel as old as it makes me feel when I'm watching freaking Gary Payton's son playing, when I'm watching Scottie Pippen's son playing? That makes me uncomfortable. I'm still of the belief that I'm 15 years old and Scottie Pippen himself is on one of these teams, much less freaking Scottie Pippen Jr., Gary Payton Jr., Tim Hardaway Jr. That makes me feel icky. I don't like feeling old like that, boys.
I'm coaching the Scottie Pippen and Cutoff Youth Center over here, his daughter, right now. So that makes me feel really old as well. Just give you some props, Nick.
Wait,
He's not even paying attention. You're the Scottie Pippen of the Cutoff Youth Center.
I'm the Scottie Pippen of the Cutoff Youth Center?
Who's Jordan?
I don't know. I just knew he wasn't the best.
I don't feel as old as like Barinas and I think it's Dallas kid are playing college this year.
Yeah. Hey, Tommy, tell me, you already hate Carlos Boozer's kids, right? I already do.
Without a doubt.
Like, without even having seen them play. Like,
Doesn't
screw
matter.
those guys. It doesn't matter. They're going to go to Duke. Screw them. I hate them.
I already hate Kanon Kneipel's brother, who's in 9th grade.
Yep.
I don't care where he goes. Wherever he goes,
What happens if he goes to North Carolina?
Awesome dude. Solid kid.
Change the colors,
brother
change
better
our
not go to the
tune.
game in a North Carolina jersey. That's all I'm saying.
That's what I love so much about recruiting. And LSU fans are so good at this, and I'm one of them. He's a 5-star. He's a stud. He's coming. He's going to change the program. The second he puts on that Ole Miss hat, that's overrated. We didn't need him. We didn't want him. Want no part of him. I love that. The hypocrisy of recruiting jacks me up. I love that.
I don't know why we were recruiting that guy from the start.
We don't need him.
Underwood guy, that guy's
terrible.
Trash.
Who was the guy that flipped to USC? The cornerback, Jackson.
Adoree Jackson?
Somebody. I don't remember. It was something Jackson. I was all hyped up about him, and he flipped to USC, and he was terrible.
Speaking of recruiting stuff and segueing into Mother's Day, I remember when Landon Collins commits to Alabama, and his mom's like, "To hell you are."
They should have gave his mom a scholarship to LSU right then and there.
That was weird as hell. There are some people who think that was staged and that was just something a ploy to get some attention. Because look, here's the thing:
It worked.
Landon Collins went to Alabama and never really was all that good, but everybody always knew who he was. Was like, "Oh, hey, that's the dude whose mom's a psycho." And he made it all the way to the freaking NFL.
What about that kid that didn't really get recruited by anybody? Had a whole little setup in his gym saying that he's going to go to like Fresno State or whatever, and Fresno State's
No,
like,
it was a big school. I think it was like,
I think it was Oregon.
It was Oregon?
I'm thinking Oregon State.
Well, you guys bringing that up reminds me of what's that school, Bishop, whatever, that made up a school
Bishop
to face
Sycamore,
that team on national
Bishop
television.
Sycamore.
How does that happen? Like, that would be like South Lafourche just facing like 50 dudes.
that's some AAU.
Yes.
You watched the documentary on that?
Dude, it's crazy.
The coach is such a heel. Just sold them kids a dream, and we ain't really got anything. Y'all gonna just starve on the floor in the locker room.
That's like the Joseph Brady stuff that we were talking about, like you pretending to be something that you're not. And I just don't know how it gets all the way to the point that you're landing a nationally televised game. Does no one check any of this stuff? I don't understand how that got as far as it did.
There's no oversight in any of this stuff. That's the beauty of it. They got a name. They got a team. They look athletic. Let's go play them.
Tomorrow, if BJ Young announces we're opening up the season with Pine Straw High School, I'm going to at least Google them, see that they're real. It's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy to me.
We could probably do a whole story on that topic.
100%.
Hey, so going back to recruiting, something else that sticks out. Who was the quarterback? Gunnar
Keel. He didn't have the chest to play at LSU.
Chest. That's back in the day when faxes were coming through and everybody would hang out at the casino in Baton Rouge and wait for the fax to come through.
But Dean, Les Miles, Les Miles was terrible, but he was right. Gunnar Keel never did nothing for anyone. So Les was actually right about that one.
We didn't have anybody on the roster at the time. We needed somebody to just take snap.
People don't realize, even just my nephew Lennon, who's 18 or whatever he is, they don't realize the dark era of LSU quarterbacks that we had, of Anthony Jennings and Brandon Harris, Jarrett Lee, Danny Etling, Andrew Hatch,
Jordan Jefferson.
We have become so spoiled. Like Nuss 10 years ago would have been a god, and now people don't even want him. He is so much better than anything that we had during the end of the Les Miles era, even the middle of the Les Miles era. It's crazy how spoiled we've gotten in such a short amount of time.
So that's a 90% reason why I'm a Saints hater.
Yeah?
Because the people that are just caught on in 08, 09 or whatever didn't have to suffer through the crap that I suffered through. They didn't feel my pain. Now they are. 100%.
Pre-Bobby, post-Bobby.
Remember when we saved Bayou Lafourche that one night, Nick?
Yeah.
You know what he didn't save? Us beating LCO in 1999.
Or your echo.
Nobody can save that.
Again, before we wrap up, congratulations to CCA. Congratulations to E.D. White. Congratulations to our locals who medaled, and some even brought home the gold at the state track meet. We'll tell you more about that next week when we do our normal recording. But for these knuckleheads to my right and my left, Damian and Nick, and Tommy J. Botto at home, this is Casey signing off. Thanks for listening and watching, or however the hell you find us. It's the group chat. Y'all take care. Have a wonderful rest of the week.
Attention passengers, we've now reached our destination. We hope you enjoyed the flight and have a nice day.
Performance Auto and Accessories in LaRose is your one-stop shop for everything automotive. From mechanical repairs and routine maintenance to custom truck lifts and accessories, our expert team does it all. Whether it's a new set of tires, a quality truck lift that maintains a smooth ride, or essential repairs, we've got you covered. Visit us today or call 985-798-7467 to transfer